Audio. Okay, here we go. Monetization's on live. Anybody who's been waiting around and is already here, this is going to be pretty short, as I just spent hours doing a bunch of work outside. So, kinda would like to not have to stress out too much and just go ahead and take a shower and everything. But it's Tuesday, so I'm contractually obligated to be here by a non-existent contract. But anyways, so that was just one of the signs. Let me get to the actual photography. We're just gonna scroll down here. Where are they? Okay. So yeah, I got a few different ones. This was the Sunoco at the regular intersection. That was someone filling up on 16 gallons. This was the cheapest place in the immediate vicinity that we found because my mother had to fill up her Kia Soul today. Cheapest place without like the special membership, because a lot of them do. There are, or sorry, not a lot of them, but a few of them are have deceptive signs up that say like theirs is still only $4 flat, but that's if you have their special membership card that lets them sell all your data to AI. But normal non-membership required was this one where it was still only $4 and technically 15 cents because it's 4.149. Then you had another 419, technically 420, and the one I used for the thumbnail because it had the best resolution. Everything's up to either 419 itself or 419.9. And it's not just this anymore. So the transportation costs, since diesel is anywhere between $5 and $6 along the East Coast, depending on where stuff gets loaded, where the trucker is refueling at. The transport costs of things have been going upwards and upwards, which is, hold on, let me fix Epic Pen. Stop. Yes. Go in here. Okay. So uh, that cascade does not work the way you think it does. It's not that the transport cost goes up from this to this, and then every single like individual product on a store shelf then has like some exact percentage, an equivalent percentage put onto it. The total cost of the total additional shipping cost because of the fuel, it just drives up the generic overhead cost of whatever store you're buying something from, of whatever the general overall cost of them placing a supply order. So the like supply order for each individual truck goes up, which just adds again to their general overhead cost. And then individual stores or by region or whatever different districts will then make individual decisions on like which particular products in the store to increase the price of and by how much. Like, say, upping things that they know people won't stop buying no matter what. They'll up those by a bit, not enough to piss people off though. And then a few other like random items, they'll suddenly increase by say like 30% or something. So, but the cascade has started to show up as when we were in the store today. Let's see, what was it? The deodorant sticks that I got. Try to draw the cap there, and then it comes down as a little thing with the twisties, and then there's the cap, and you have the label. Normally, the one I get is $7. All of a sudden today, it was $8.20. The box of Benadryl or diphenhydramine is normally $7. Now today, all of a sudden, it was 9. And the little tubes of the disinfectant or the antimicrobial like cream to put on cuts and stuff because I get a lot of those from playing around with cats barehanded, and also because, the whole obligatory 2 hours a day walking around picking up trash, I inevitably get cut up either by thorns or by the broken glass that I have to pick up because no one picks it up other than me, not even the city crews that are supposed to clean up after car accidents. They just leave all the crap lying there in the middle of the road. That's a subject for another time. But that's the Southern standard for you. The little tubes of microbial ointment were normally $3. All of a sudden today they were 5. So, so stuff like that, not necessarily random because the store operators are like making conscious choices where to put the price increases to compensate for the additional cost. But from your personal perspective, it will essentially feel kind of random. And like one other example was the I can't draw them properly, and I don't want to put in the effort. Uh, I'll call them the GC brownies, the Golden Corral brownies, the same type of uh, cubes with icing, basically brownies that Golden Corral, a restaurant around here, serves. Publix, a store, the main store that we go to, because it is not owned by Wall Street. It is technically, by technicality, it would be a co-op or a cooperative because its ownership is split up amongst its however many thousand employees. Uh, but it's not a proper co-op, as in like every major decision the company makes, they don't have some like send out some mandatory email and like make all 30,000 employees across the country vote on the decision. So its decisions are made by like management boards, but it's not owned by some outside entity that wants to squeeze every ounce of private equity out of it. But Publix, in their bakery section, makes and sells the same type of brownies that Golden Corral does. And normally a box of those was $4.60. Now they're all of a sudden on Monday, yesterday, they were the same price as the box of 3 dozen giant M&M cookies, which is, or sorry, not the same price. They were close to the price, getting closer. I was falling for the psychological trap briefly that stores use. That's why they will put like $6.99 instead of $7. But the iced brownie cube things went up to $6, like $6.09 or $6.19. Uh, the cookie box thing is like still $7. But so you see what I mean? It kind of just gets, for all intents and purposes, randomly distributed across select products. They don't just apply some generic overall percentage price increase to everything. So, apart from the fuel prices themselves, the actual product cost cascade has started to arrive. If anyone else has actually seen that themselves over the last couple of weeks, that would, be interesting to hear confirmation of that. Uh, or I could assume maybe it's literally just me and Trump is telling the truth constantly, and everything's actually fine, and this is the golden age of America or whatever. But yeah, so around here, gasoline was about $2.50 pre-war. Now we're up to $4.20. And from this point on, it's basically going to be $1 per month going upwards for every additional month that we refuse to just take the L. Just take the L and leave. So, not a strategy I agree with them using, but Iran kind of used the most effective bring everybody back to the table strategy they could when Trump tried quote unquote Operation Freedom or whatever, just declaring the strait open himself by the authority of his Trumpness. And a couple vessels started moving today, and then Iran just started basically blind firing and launching like sea drones and shaheeds uh, in kind of like shotgun spreads around the general area where any individual ship might be, based on like actual physical sight. Since the the GPS location stuff, if you go to like marinetraffic.com and look at the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, that is completely like actually scrambled. They are all the ships there are manually just inputting random coordinates. So you will literally, if you go on that site right now, you'll see like markers for like random oil tankers showing them like in the middle of the desert on land or something, because that's what the crews are resorting to. So Iran started shotgun spread blind firing and hit three different vessels. Uh, all three, I believe, were small, like smaller. I'm forgetting the term. The proper term to designate the type of cargo ship, because everyone just says cargo ship, but there's the different individual things. There's bulk carriers, oil tankers, and container vessels. That's the one. The ones that actually carry containers. So that kind of forced Trump's hands to back off with his whole the strait is open because I said so thing. And now everyone is abruptly, really hastily preparing another meeting in Pakistan. So, and also after that, uh, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of the DoD, because that's still its actual name, only Congress can actually change the name of that department. Mr. I love to post Instagram photos focusing on the neo-Nazi tattoos that I got around my nipple. He gave a press conference announcing that there's not going to be any more stuff because the Operation Epic Fury, Operation Fortnite Chungus, is actually over because despite prior comments to the contrary about how stuff still needed to be bombed, now he says actually the operation achieved all of its goals and achieved them very epically and more so than we ever could have hoped for. So both of those happening at once, kind of like coincidingly within a few hours of the Omni water drone attack blind fire spread from that Iran launched from somewhere on the Bandar Abbas shores. Kind of really easy to connect the dots there. Now, the whole stall situation of nothing moving that might continue for quite a little bit because Trump's entire existence revolves around maniacal narcissism. So he's not he's probably really not going to agree to anything immediately until everyone around him who normally rides his dick starts actually kind of twisting his arm on it. So immediate future outlook is like, don't bet on stuff starting to flow again within the next 2 weeks. But given how fast he went full coward and backed off after what happened this morning, uh, that's kind of leaning more towards this is actually going to end. Sorry, had to deal with something for a second, but he's gonna start taking the Putin government approach and basically just retroactively, basically just insist that everything was a win anyways. Retroactively declare that the previously stated not yet complete objectives actually are complete, and what was done, even though previously said to not be all that was aimed for, actually was all that we were aiming for from the start. And if you disagree with him, then you're committing treason and you need to be sent to alligator Alcatraz or whatever. Ooh, cash money also. Needles. Uh the drug addicts in this area, like one of the few things I will give my parents' area is the drug addicts in this area are actually quote unquote considerate because they put their like used drug syringes into like the safety cap ceiling thing. They still just throw it on like the side of the sidewalk, but they put it in like the safety cap seal thing. A lot of other places, like when I used to visit Baltimore a lot, or San Francisco, or West Virginia, the pinnacle of civilization, the needles on like the sidewalks and the side of the road are technically in West Virginia in on the side of the path, if you want to call the roads paths up there. Uh, they were all uncapped and fully exposed, but the drug addicts around the area where my parents live, all at least I guess feel compelled to cap the needle in like the orange safety thing. So that's really I'll go far enough and say that's quote unquote considerate, I guess. Uh, it would be nice if you like walked your needle the additional 50 feet to the public trash can instead of just throwing it on the sidewalk. But thanks for putting the safety cap on it at least. But thanks for the $4+ bucks. That is not a gallon of gas for me. That is a bar of British Core German chocolate. Uh, as I do not drive, my license, when did it? 2014. My license expired in 2014 and I never renewed it. Partially, in big part because, you know, I lived in Fairbanks with an amazing public transit system that I could just freely walk on and off of and get anywhere. Uh, don't worry. I've been in exile since 2020, back in the Charleston area. At least it ain't sweet home Alabama, though, or West Virginia. Like there's no just random hits filled with large fires in the middle of the night with no context, no explanation, and one creepy shirtless dude walking away from the fire slowly into the woods to disappear into the darkness. Also with no context or no explanation. I saw such a scene a dozen different times when we were driving through West Virginia. Like just zero context fires like this was I don't know the that 28 years later zombie cult movie. Ugh. But yeah, thanks for the 420. That's also really helpfully on time because we're approaching the uh the upcoming celebration of Max Legier's bank account is going to get extremely low since I'm gonna have to purchase that new laptop. Technically, I don't have to, but I'm not stupid enough to wait until like the severe disruptions start hitting, or to wait, or at least that would be if this continued to go on, which now it looks like it's not going to, or dumb enough to wait until like we're a few weeks away from the Taiwan invasion. So I'm just gonna get it now, and I'll have it aside. I'm still gonna keep using this one for a bit because I don't want to immediately start wearing down the next one since whether later this year or next year, whenever China does decide to do this, you're not supposed to be a highlighter, you're supposed to be a marker. Whenever China does decide to go for this, that is going to throw, even though this one is not the Russia Ukraine invasion, this one will be over and decided relatively quick, like within a few weeks, most likely, at most. But that's still going to have a cascading electronics like supply issue deficit for a couple of years afterwards, at least. Let's see. Was there anything else specific? I don't think so. Before what happened today, the yesterday there was a funny combination of lies where the U.S. and Iran both doubled down not on their own lies, but on each other's lies, and then built up on top of the other's lie in a way to shift the frame of it to make themselves look better. So the U.S. yesterday claimed that it sent two destroyers into the Gulf, which is most likely false. Iran, instead of denying that, said, "Oh yeah, they did actually, but we totally attacked them, and now they're on fire and sinking just inside the Gulf." And then, in a counter to that, instead, look, the U.S. then said, "Actually, yeah, Iran did try to attack us, but we shot down all the drones, and then they came at us with a bunch of boats, like Somali pirates, and they were just shooting at us with AKs, and we totally smoked them into red mist." And so, for a good 24 hours, that back and forth story embellishing kept going. That was kind of hilarious to watch and listen to for a while. Okay, I don't think there was anything else. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to keep this short anyways. But uh oh, only other thing I can think of is some generic oil news stuff. So Venezuela's production is, despite it only being uh, four, actually not 4 months since they entered. Technically, they only re-entered Venezuela 3 months ago. The Chevron Respal, who I believe is the Spanish major oil company, and Eni, the one from Italy, have already actually managed to crank up Venezuela's production by an additional 130,000 barrels per day. And so the expectation that by the end of the year or very early next year, they should be able to get it up to 1.6 or 1.7 looks like that's definitely in the frame of reality. If not, it might even be underestimating how fast they can do it. Even I did not actually think they would be able to pull it off that fast, but Venezuela had gotten up to about 1.1 before the epically kidnapped Maduro operation that was totally spec up steel and totally not kind of just we paid off his vice president and the generals around him and they just handed him over. That's totally not what happened. But they got up to that. They dropped down to 800K right after that happened because everyone was uncertain about things. Rebounded back up to 1.1 in March. But since then, over the course of a later March and through April, they've been brought up now to 1.23. And yeah, that's all I can even think of. I don't know whether that's actually everything or not, but that's all I can think of because my brain's fried from all the work I was doing outside. Give me a second. I changed that little stupid game. It's no longer uh, saving from the apocalypse thing. Now it's countries are added to the instead of the imperium, it's the maxogerium, or countries or regions of countries that are regions that are therefore now under the absolute control of me, because every politician on the face of the earth, with the exception of very few, is either a psychopath or a sociopath or has negative IQ. But yeah, this was based around the fact that my living expenses, if I were to be back up home in Alaska at least, were about 8,000 a year. Technically now, 6 years later, they would probably be more like 9,500. And I made usually like 13K a year, between 11 and 13K. So that's how I was able to constantly like take trips to Baltimore with Josh and stuff. But yeah, so I figured every dollar I earn over the course of this year is equal to about 1 million people, since there's about 8 billion. So we'll see if the entire world can be brought under much better leadership than it currently exists before the end of the year. But we got decent bits of it. Starting to, I decided to commit to just trying to make sure we seize all of the dual Americas continental system. Got Algeria because I like them. Got most of Eastern Europe because a lot of friends live there. Let's see, next in Europe, I would pick France because France is like the one exception to the others around it, where like I actually like them. Conquered the UK because a friend who lives there asked me to, and I grabbed Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan and Sakhalin just for the sake of it, but also because wanted to get the actual smart ones. And also I figured let's go ahead and end the Kim dynasty. We'll liberate North Korea. That is uh going to be where we cut off then. Yeah, we just hit half an hour anyway, so perfect. All right. They have not yet updated, or at least as of when I last checked, the monthly data here for regarding like the countries who I can't get direct more up-to-date data from. I usually have to use the EIA to get data that's a few months behind. Have they still not updated it? They have still not updated it. Worthless. All right, so I can't guarantee when the regular monthly oil production levels video will come. It's probably going to be missing a few countries since looks like I'm going to be forced to get everything directly again.